Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Separate Day Challenge, and today we have Frozen. Now, you're gonna call me a 9-year-old girl, but I'm not afraid of it. I actually love Frozen. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yes, Let It Go is overplayed. It's and I for the parents who had to raise their children on this and listen to it 20 times a day. Watch the movie 20 times a day, if that's even possible. It's almost a 2-hour movie. It's an hour and 42 minutes from 2013. That kind of I have to provide that kind of information every once in a while. Uh, yeah, for those of you who watched it, 12 times a day, let's just say, um, I feel for you. I'm sorry, but you could have done a whole lot worse. There's a whole lot worse kitty crap out there that you could be forced to listen to. Yes, it becomes uh, an earworm. Let It Go will drive you mad. Uh, but honestly, I haven't watched this movie in so long. I saw Frozen 2 over the holidays last December 2019, about 4,000 years ago. You know, that era before the the pandemic. Um, yeah, and I love that. I love the sequel, and in some ways, I actually liked it more because we didn't have to worry about any kind of build up, introducing characters or anything else, and getting first reactions and looks at everybody. It actually it went backwards in discovering the the origins of these characters. And I'm sorry, yes, I'm not reviewing Frozen 2. I'm reviewing Frozen. I'm talking about Frozen. Uh, yeah, it helps that I love Kristen Bell as Anna. And Idina Menzel. Some people might know her from Wicked, but she is the voice of Elsa. And there's so many other voices in this. It's kind of cool. Alan Tudyk plays the gentleman from Weaselton. I have to mention him. He plays what we're assuming is going to be the bad guy of the film. And by the way, just so you know, I'm not worried about spoilers at this point. If you haven't watched it, this movie's 7 years old. Um, it's tough. And if you weren't going to watch it in the first place, then I'm really not spoiling anything for you. Um, and because you automatically hate it because it's Frozen, because it's for little girls. Um, you'd be so wrong in so many ways in that because this is actually a big action-packed adventure. There's tons of comedy. There's even a weird dick joke in it that came out of nowhere. I forgot that it even existed. Um, but yeah, and it was made by Elsa. I mean, sorry, by Anna. Yeah, which just fits because it's Kristen Bell. Um, but yeah, the great thing, my favorite things, because I'm just gonna talk about Kristen Bell right now because her interactions with each of the characters. Yes, it could have been done by any number of wonderful actresses in the business today, but I think she just knows how to set the right tone. This awkward, weird, confident tone, where she thinks she knows what she's doing, and in some cases she does, but she doesn't realize how much she knows. It's so convoluted, but she's dead on perfect. Because if you know her from Veronica Mars or The Good Place, or God, just so many different things she's done in the last few years. Um, you gotta love her in this. So anything with Kristen Bell in it pulls me into the film. So her interactions with it helps she can sing, by the way, too. With Hans, the man she meets, falls in love with, and wants to get married right away. The interactions with him, he's dorky and as well, and they seem like the perfect couple. When she's dealing with what's his face? Why can't I say his name? Kristoff. When she's dealing with Kristoff, and they're not getting along at all. They're perfect together. So yeah, you want her to she's a lonely girl who misses her sister. She's lost her parents. She's living in a big castle all of her life. And I have to wonder though, did she spend all those years by herself without her sister? Like, she had servants and stuff hanging around, but come on, she's like 18, 17 at this point. I don't know. By the time the main body of the film happens, she's got to be at like 17, 18. And her sister's being crowned the queen. So she's never talked to her sister in all that time. It just, so I find it hard to believe. Ever since the time when they were kids, when Elsa almost killed her. So yeah. But yeah, beyond the music, which again, if you just think about Let It Go and you're annoyed by that just by talking about it, I'm sorry, that's your fault. Love is an Open Door. Just want to build a snowman. I mean, even just the little instrumental reprisals of each of those things just are perfectly timed, just beautifully timed. God, she's. I'm gonna have to stop talking about Kristen Bell. Sorry. Josh Gad is. Most people had no idea who this guy was, unless you'd seen Book of Mormon, the original. I think the original cast, the star of Book of Mormon, from the South Park guys. He jumped into this role of Olaf, just playing the goofy snowman. Every Disney film has to have a kind of a goofy sidekick, and yeah, you never expected to be a snowman, and it's really, he's just, I don't know if he's supposed to be an expression of Elsa that she can't express herself, because she literally brought something to life. You have to understand how powerful she is. I'm going to do an aside here. The X-Men, Iceman. Iceman, like, he's played off as a dork half the time. Ever since since the early '60s when he was first created, he was the little kid who just made him look like himself look like a snowman. But he's literally one of the most powerful X-Men in the entire Marvel universe. He's one of the most powerful X-Men. He's one of the most powerful superheroes, period. Because he controls atmosphere and weather, and he can freeze the moisture in your lungs if he wanted to. He has all these powers, and Elsa has all of these powers. Elsa was on track to be the villain in this movie. Not that they considered it. I'm just saying that this is an origin story for a villain. That's what Frozen is. We're dealing with somebody who has the opportunity to just say screw everybody for making me hold it all in all these years, and when she lets go, she lets it go. But when she finally lets it go, she has the ability to destroy her entire hometown and beyond that, and just live up in her evil ice mansion, and just live a life of solitude and bitterness and take it out on everybody. She had that opportunity, and she could have been the scariest, most powerful villain that this era had never seen. She could have been the Wicked Witch of the North if she wanted to. And that would have been a kind of a cool, scary movie, making her one of the evil witches, in that sense. But no, that's not what this movie's about. It's about true love, and it's not in the sense of it. It kind of busts on the tropes of the Disney tropes, the tropes that Disney made so common when it came to the princesses finding their true love. The movies always end, whether it's Ariel or Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, they all end up with, or Cinderella, they all end up with their Prince Charming in a sense. And the guy is the perfect guy, the first guy they meet, and from whatever land they're from, they're just like, wait, that's a guy. He's not a dwarf, but he is the first 6-foot-tall blonde guy I found, and guess what? We're in love now. He found my shoe, he kissed me and woke me up, he gave me a fork. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, he's always perfect. And in this movie, Anna does the same thing. She meets a guy, and in a matter of hours, and we see the singing montage of how they just click. And guess what? He ends up being the bad guy. And that act of true love isn't true love's kiss, which they all assume because it seems like they all read or watched the same Disney movies we watched. And they're like assuming that, oh yeah, we got to get, Anna's dying. She needs to get home and kiss Hans. Get her down the mountain, get her back into the castle, and kiss Hans. And that will be what saves her. And no, he's just there to manipulate everybody. He plays the hero so well. You believe he's a hero. That when he's revealed to be the villain, it's actually kind of a weird shock. And yes, maybe some of you will say, oh, I saw it all along. But they sell it so hard. They could have had little things here and there to show that he was not all that great. Like, he was dorky from the first moment. He was never a snob. He was never a jerk. He risked his life to save Elsa. He did all these things, and when he reveals it to Anna, with us, watching, obviously, it actually, for me, it did come as a shock, because you kind of thought that this was going to be another Disney trope. And by the way, another Disney trope is dead parents. Even though the parents aren't dead at the beginning of the movie, they get dead about 5 minutes in. So yeah, it's but this is, I think, Disney consciously going against their own patterns of storytelling, where the act of true love that saves Anna's life is an act she performs herself to save her sister's life. And yes, you're going to see people have always been, oh, girl power, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely what this is about. And I don't want to diminish it by saying that it's about girl power. It is what it is. And it's freaking awesome. So yeah, this is the kind of movie that I would hope the girls would get something positive out of. That they're not expected to just fall into the arms of the first man they see, because that somehow validates their existence, or that if they're a little bit different, that they're supposed to hide it away and conceal, don't feel. There's so many little things you can get out of this in so many different ways, and so many different characters you can glom onto that you can make your own, that you can say. Little girls, I remember going to Disneyland when this movie was first coming out, and you would see like gaggles of 4-year-old girls just all dressed as Elsa, and like one Anna. But I love Anna. But but you also get Elsa. Elsa's just, you have to understand that Let It Go starts out as a song that is completely about a person who's depressed and lonely and forsaken by everybody, and been sold a life that she never wanted since a child, because of a mistake she made, because of power she didn't understand, and now she lives a life of solitude because of that, and she can't even be with people she loves, and she feels that's the only way that everybody can be safe, because she almost killed her sister when she was a kid. It's kind of dark stuff, but when she comes out of it, when she gets by the end of the song, obviously it's a song about, I can set it all aside. I can set it aside. There's no rules for me, because society hasn't made something that can control who I am. And that is absolutely a dangerous thought. But she has chosen to set herself apart from everybody on purpose, to save people, not knowing that she's also pretty much doomed the city because of all the snow and everything. But she believes she's doing the right thing, and it could have gone a dark path if she decided to get vengeance upon anybody she felt there was vengeance to be gotten upon. But yeah, Anna wasn't about to let her do that. So yeah, and I would be remiss to also mention Jonathan Groff is also great as Kristoff. He's hilarious as he interacts with his reindeer Sven. He is just, yeah, and he makes the much more suitable mate for Anna. Not that she's required to fall in love with him, but I think they both earned it. There's no like, hey, you know what? We like sandwiches. Isn't that neat? I've been in a castle for the first 16 years of my life, so never saw anybody. My parents are dead. My sister doesn't talk to me. You're a boy and you're pretty. You know, that's pretty much the criteria. It's like it is when we get out of quarantine. So, yeah. Anyway, I've talked a lot about Frozen. This is a great cast. It's great music. No matter what you think about Let It Go, it is great acting performances by this cast, especially Kristen Bell. But yeah, and I can't wait to get a chance to watch Frozen 2. It's not on the list because it was added after the launch, so, and I have watched it. Well, no, I haven't watched it since it was released on here, but we will eventually add it to the list to be selected, but not today. So we're going to see what we get that's not Frozen 2. 11. I think we had 11. Let's check. 11. We did. Yeah, here it is. I'll show you. Oh, come on. Come back here. 11, yes. 11 was A Ring of Endless Light, which you should go look at my review of that. Come on, let's get something else that's down low. 455, that's not down low. 455. On. Oh, I went too far. 455. I should have recognized this number because it's with all the other ones. We've watched 2 out of 4 things from Recess, and today we have Recess taking the 5th grade. 455. See it? Can we see it there? 455, taking the 5th grade. All right, that's what we got. We're going back to the Recess gang. Pamela Adlon, that's another woman I'm in love with. She does plays one of the voices. Pamela Adlon. She's one of my favorite comedian actresses, voiceover artists. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow with Recess taking the 5th grade on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Bye-bye. One more thing. I watched all the way through the credits on this, on Frozen, and you should too. There's a little disclaimer at the very end that talks about a policy that Disney does not necessarily agree with about some of the opinions of Kristoff. Kristoff has opinions, and they're his own, and Disney just wants to clear the slate on that. So watch the end of the credits on Frozen. I'll see you back here tomorrow.